What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video on TPL Locs. Today we are doing a lock talk. I wanted to do a follow-up on the episode we did on Danco, James, that boy Curtis Williams, because to my horror, he cut his locks. Look at this. I saw this picture on Instagram and I knew instantly that he cut his locks because you can kind of see it. His locks were like a huge bundle of amazing freeform style locks, and now you can see that he basically doesn't really have any hair on his head. So for the people who haven't seen that episode, let me go back to a picture where he did have locks. Here we can kind of see the progression of what he did with his hair. This is, I think, a few years into his journey, and if we look to the next pictures, we can see the progression up until he cut them. So he started off with short locks and they grew into this epic looking set of freeform locks. It looks like he has double the amount of hair that most people do, which already makes him look like a boss. But the way that he carried his freeform locks were very, very unique. So I think this is a few years into his journey where you can clearly see what freeform locks do, namely whatever the heck they want. He has a few short ones on the right side, a few big congos on the top, and yeah, I think he grew them quite long past his collarbone, as you can see here as well, and he had a few really thick ones. And yeah, I'm really bummed that he cut them, but I think it was for good reason. This is probably a bit earlier into his journey, and then they look sick. They really looked awesome. I think this was just before he cut them. Towards the end of his journey, he really started getting a big fat lock in front of his face always, and then he either pulled his locks towards the back because you couldn't really see him looking like this much anymore, but more like that with his hair up, and now he looks like, oh, we can't see it here, hold on, in this picture we can see it, boom, his locks are gone. Anyways, we have an explanation of why he cut his locks. He says, "I've been going through a lot of shit. I feel like karma caught up to me. I've been working on bettering myself and righting my wrongs. I decided to chop my hair off to help me throw away bad energy and a lot of bad habits. This is a fresh start, end of an era, new beginnings." And I've heard this before from other people who cut their locks here on YouTube, who made episodes about it, that cutting off their hair can feel as though they're releasing a certain type of energy and they can start fresh with a new type of energy. And I completely get that. A question I get often is, why don't I have locks? And really the biggest reason was because I started getting like bald spots on my head. I made an episode about it, but here is like a picture of what that looked like. For me as well, I kind of felt like getting a fresh start, a fresh energy, and some people believe that a certain type of energy can also get caught into your hair. So if you cut your hair, you get rid of that good or bad energy. Either way, he also colored his hair. He dyed his hair blonde. And I think it looks nice. It looks a bit yellowish, to be honest, but no, this is dope. This is really cool. Here actually is another video of how he carried his locks towards the end.
Hey, it's me, Curtis. Today, we're making pork chop tacos. Never heard of it? Yeah, because I invented it.
Apparently he's starting a cooking show. Follow his Instagram. His handle is that boy Curtis. If you want to see that, I'm not sure if he's kidding, but it looks funny. And there you could see that he is probably putting something around his locks to keep it in the back. But yeah, I just wanted to have a really chilled video because usually my videos are very well put together and I kind of write the videos in advance a little bit. And I want to do these more relaxed sit down videos as well, because yeah, it doesn't always have to be that orchestrated and planned. I also like just talking about a few different things. So I asked you guys on the community page if you had any questions for me, so let's do a little Q&A. V Anon says, I want to get a taper haircut with my locks. I've grown my hair for a year and haven't locked it yet. Should you get your hair cut first, then lock it, or should you lock it and then get a haircut? Not sure how sectioning would work out. This is a great question. I had to think about this because I haven't had top locks, obviously, but I know I've seen a lot of videos of people who have, and I know some people who have top locks with a taper, and I think most people start with a full head of locks, and then after a while they shave off the bottom few locks. And just like you already said, it can be tricky with sectioning because you have to make sure that you cut the locks where you kind of get a straight hairline where you can have the taper. So for me personally, I would first get the taper and then start locks, because then you are sure that your sectioning will work out. If you have that luxury, you haven't started yet, that's what you were saying, get a taper haircut first. Also, because if you start getting locks and you're still in that kind of awkward phase, getting a taper can feel really great and still like you have a fresh new hairdo. So it could also help with being patient. Carisha Foggy says, are you single and would you possibly get another set of locks? I'm not single. I've been in a relationship for almost 4 years, and I would get another set of locks because like I said in the previous videos, is that I would love to get top locks. But I'm kind of on the fence because with me getting locks, I don't really do well with that awkward phase. I always get really restless and I want to do something with my hair. So a solution could be that I get a fade, a taper or whatever, and get a set of locks. I'm sure that if I do that, I would really love to get freeform locks, which can be even harder to be patient with. So I would possibly get another set of locks. I'm not sure when. Right now I'm enjoying my curls, although I'm not really great at taking care of my hair, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not one of those people who spends hours every morning or every week moisturizing and using conditioner. So that is actually why I started getting locks when I was younger, because I didn't feel like taking care of my hair. CDM says, what do you think of instant locks and lock extensions? I know this is a hot topic because I've made a video before on lock extensions and instant locks, and people were going after the video. They didn't like it at all, and I get that because people who get locks for more spiritual reasons, or that original locks come with a certain culture and a certain way of getting locks, they really dislike instant locks and lock extensions. But for me personally, I don't really care because I've seen instant locks and lock extensions that I thought were real. So you can actually kind of get the real deal without having to go through that whole stage. And if you like that as a look, I don't have much of an issue with it. I think it is cool that people can get different types of hairstyles whenever they feel like it, but I do also get the people who don't like it when people get kind of fake locks, because locks is also something that you have to earn. If you have truly beautiful long grown locks, it's because you've been patient and you've kind of had a spiritual journey with your hair as well. So I get both sides, but for me, I think instant locks and lock extensions are awesome too. Scar Ty asks, can you dye starter locks? Yes, you can. Like, technically it is possible, but I wouldn't advise it because most people who dye their hair don't have access or the budget to go to a really, really great professional colorist. I know that not all different types of way to get color in your locks is harmful. I know there's some kind of hemp dye that washes out, and there are some other ways that are not as offensive to your hair, but overall dye is going to damage your hair And we've seen it with a few rappers. After they started dyeing their hair, dyeing it over and over again, you can start to get breakage and it starts to become dry, and it's overall not a great experience. So I would advise against it unless you know someone who absolutely knows what they're doing and you're being very careful with it. With that being said, I want to thank you for watching. If you have more questions, I will answer them in the comments below. So make sure you leave a comment below if you have a question. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Peace.